Hello, everybody, and welcome into episode number 40 of Talking Kentucky. My name is Coleman Scott, and his name is Caden Holmes. And Caden, that's a milestone if I've ever heard one. 40. We're already there. We're men. We're 40, just like Mike Gundy at Oklahoma State.
Which he even made one of our podcast brackets. So
that's right.
Good bringing that back up. But yeah, I can't believe we're already on 40. Seems like we started a month ago, but it's been what, like, when did we start? June, July?
Started in May. It's been coming up on a year now because I guess it's still February. It doesn't feel like February, honestly. It kind of feels like later in the year. Maybe that's because I'm in Louisiana and it's hot down here right now, which I was actually going to get into that. Caden, it was like 85 degrees down here in Louisiana today. I started thinking about like summer things, like, oh man, the Derby's probably coming up. We need to talk about that on the show. And no, it's still February. It's just really hot in Louisiana. I don't know how things are back up in Kentucky, but it's already summer down here.
Yeah, it's been warmer up here, but it's been really windy. Like just driving down the interstate, pushing the car all around. So it's been like, I feel like it's been like that for a week, but it's been surprisingly warm up here too.
Hey, Josh is in the comments. He says he's down in Florida right now. He says hello and what's up from sunny Florida. So I guess Josh is experiencing the heat of the South right now too. Josh, where are you in Florida? I guess he can fill us in when he calls too. But Clyde is in the comments too. He says hello there. And Roxanne Holmes says, but those cats. You think she meant to say "bout those cats" or "how about those cats"? Maybe, or maybe
I think she meant "but those cats."
But those cats. Okay, yeah, we're gonna get into the cats because we can actually talk positively about the cats today because there's been some positive things that have been going on. Kate, I'm getting back into running right now. I'm kind of like running, 5 or 6 times a week now, trying to get back into it. And that's another reason that I noticed it's hot in Louisiana right now. But I run around the lakes at LSU, and I've yet to see an alligator in any of the lakes yet down here. But I saw this headline on CNN yesterday that an 85-year-old lady was dragged into a lake by an alligator and killed. And we don't want that for anybody. I mean, that sounds awful. That's tragic. But like, can you imagine if that happened? Like an alligator just comes out of the lake when you're walking by or running by and just grabs you. Like, I'm kind of nervous now about walking around the lakes.
Yeah, people in Houston said that there were alligators there, but I never saw one myself. But no, I cannot imagine. I feel like you being in Baton Rouge, you probably have to worry about that more than anyone in Houston or Florida, honestly.
It should be the LSU, screw the Tigers. It should be the LSU Gators,
Yeah.
I think. But no, I don't even think I've seen an alligator outside of a zoo before. I've not seen an alligator like in the wild.
They're there. We used to go camping in Alabama, and we fish on one of the lakes in Alabama, and they're everywhere. Like,
I believe them there. There's no doubt. You sound like you're in some kind of factory or there's some kind of like a chainsaw noise going on behind you right now. I don't know what it is. Now it's slowly going away.
You hear a chainsaw noise?
Okay, now I don't. I think your mic might be automatically adjusting there, but something was.
For you, it just sounded like you were in a tunnel. So we're having issues all around.
Well, I think we're back to normal now, okay. But yeah, we might just have these little spontaneous audio issues. Yeah, see, Josh Hart says, "What is that?" I don't know what that was. It sounded like a chainsaw or like a hurricane or something. I'm not sure what that is. On KSR, they have Ryan's dogs, and they have all kinds of things like that happen in the background. And for us, I guess we just have to have our own background noises going on here. But no, it's not there anymore.
I think the AC's on, so that might be.
Oh, that's probably what it was. But it kicked on. Well, I don't hear it anymore, okay. So it's good old StreamYard's drowning it out. But speaking of drowning it out, Kentucky's drowning out the competition right now. And Caden, you got to see us take down Tennessee in person, and so I was wondering if you can give us, like the firsthand scoop from that, because we haven't gotten to talk about the second beatdown of the Vols this year yet. So I feel like you got to kick us off with that.
Yeah, mom got these tickets because she hasn't been to a game in like 5 years. And at first when she got them, I was like, "Are you sure? Like, you spent that much money, and we're about to play number 10 Tennessee, and we're having a rough season." I did not feel confident. But we show up and we go up like, what we up 40? What was it 30 something to 19 at the half?
Yeah.
So we went on this massive run, and it's crazy. These last two games, it seems like we're doing the opposite of what we've done all season. We go on this massive first half run, and we just let them back in the game. And when we started that second half, I thought that that they were coming back, and I was a little worried. But we ended up pulling it away, and the crowd. I have to say, the crowd in Rupp Arena was insane. I have never heard the crowd like that. Granted, I've basically only gone to games like Florida A&M, those kinds of games. So of course we're not going to be crazy for that. There. But even the Kansas game I went to in college, it wasn't like that Tennessee game that I went to. So it was a good game to go to.
I'm jealous, man. That was a good game to go to, and you had Tubby coming back and like all those 96, 97, 98 guys coming back at halftime. So
Manuel Quickly was there.
Manuel Quickly.
Justin Edwards was there.
Yeah, Justin Edwards was there. That's right. Yeah. Everybody was there. That's right. Josh Hart says Caden has a truck in his room. Yeah,
it's still bad.
Yeah, this episode's going to be like talking truck. Like every like 5 seconds, or not 5 seconds, but every like couple minutes, we'll just hear like 5 seconds of like something going on in the background. I don't know what it is. I think it might be your mic automatically adjusting.
You're in Singletary right now, so we're about to start hearing something in your background.
Like I guess so. Well, that's what I was going to. So the reason we're doing the show an hour earlier tonight is because I got a concert at 7:30, and it's not in the Singletary Center for the Arts. It's LSU Wind Ensemble down here in Baton Rouge. So it's just across the street. So I can walk across there. But this will probably be a shorter episode. But yeah, got this behind me. I got the Singletary Center for the Arts back there at Old University of Kentucky. So I got my concert black on, rocking that Caden. So this is the best dressed I've ever been for an episode of Talkin Kentucky for sure.
Hey, you got your trumpet? You want to preview some of your concert for us?
Yeah, I don't think it'll sound great on StreamYard. I'm not confident that it will necessarily. Especially with the truck noises we got on going on right now. It might. There'll be a time and place that I feel like we should break it out on the show. Claude says, well, then you got 14 minutes until the show. Well, no, we don't. There's the time difference. See, it's 6:17 here. And this happened before the episode. See, I messaged Claude. I messaged all our faithful fans on our Talking Kentucky page before the show and said, we're going to do the show an hour earlier tonight. And Claude texts me at like 5:17 my time and said, y'all having technical difficulties or something? I was like, no, it's the time change. See, yep. So it's 6 o'clock.
Yeah, not everywhere's Eastern time zone, Clyde.
Yeah. But hey, speaking of it, Claude said that we better be lucky that he's putting on he's putting Outer Banks on pause tonight to watch us. So I guess Outer Banks, that's a show, right?
Yeah, it's on Netflix, right?
I guess so. I've never watched it. I don't watch anything. The only thing I've ever watched is The Office. Hey, really, that's the only thing I've
said
seen.
That Armando Baycott's on episode number 8.
I don't know who that is.
He plays for North Carolina. Yeah. Oscar's buddy, the guy he was working out with this last summer.
Oh, okay. Man, Claude has all the North Carolina scoop. I feel like if Claude wasn't a Kentucky fan, he'd be a North Carolina fan. How do we know that Claude isn't just a North Carolina fan in disguise, honestly, at this point? Because he called into our show that one time, and he said, and Outer Banks is in North Carolina, he says. Yeah, he called into the show that one time and said, you know what, I actually kind of like North Carolina. That was when we were doing that Florida A&M post-game show. And then he said something about North Carolina on our last episode, just kind of talking about North Carolina out of nowhere. Oh, good. He says, he is not a North Carolina. That's what Claude says. He is not. Oh, he's not a North Carolina fan either. He's not a North Carolina, and he's also not a North Carolina fan. So
that's good to know.
That is.
We almost had to kick him off again.
That's very true. But anyway, Now would be a better time than ever to get into our holidays a little bit. It's National Chili Day today. Uh, Caden, you said you make a really good chili, right? You said the secret's like in the onions or something
The
like
secret's
that.
cooking the onions long enough, but I cannot take credit for it because it's my mom's recipe. I just add a little bit to it.
Well, how do you? So take me through trying to get the best onions for chili.
First you have to cook the onions. You start with the onions. Put the onions in a pan. Then you
Start with
put the
onions.
yeah. Then you
Yeah.
put the meat in there. So you cook the meat with the onions. You drain it, and then you put it all into a pot with all the other ingredients. And the key is making sure you cook that pot of chili on medium/low heat for like 45 minutes an hour. Because you don't want the onions too crunchy, but you don't want them too mushy. It's got to be in between, Coleman.
It's got to be in between. It's got to be just right. Okay.
Yeah.
I got you. I can make a mean white chicken chili. Like, I mean, I can make okay, like regular chili too, but I make like this white chicken chili that's really good. I make it during football season. And honestly, like every time I make it, we win. I think the only time we didn't win when I made it was when we played Georgia. So it doesn't
Definitely
work
didn't
as
play
well.
it on the Vandy game. Or you definitely didn't cook it on the Vandy
I
game.
didn't cook it on the Vandy game. I didn't, I really didn't think I would need to make my superstitious chili for the Vanderbilt game, but apparently that's something we got to do now. So I'll have to keep that in mind next season, especially when we go down to Vanderbilt next year. I think I got to break out the chili to beat Vanderbilt now, Caden.
I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of worried about Vanderbilt for the basketball game coming.
Well, I was just thinking about that, and we're going to get into that a little bit. But I was like, Vandy, well, we can count that as a win. And then I thought, well, I don't know. We can't even do that in football anymore. So,
Vandy's won 4 of their last 5, Coleman. Did you know
they
this?
did. I did know that, but they did lose to the Bayou Bengals of LSU last night down here across the street.
Who are not doing well. So I don't understand what's going on with Vandy.
SEC basketball is drunk this year. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know how we got off on Vanderbilt from Chile, but nevertheless, it's International Dog Biscuit Appreciation Day. I guess really only dogs can appreciate dog biscuits. Although, like when I'm at the grocery store and I'm walking down the aisle and stuff, and I see dog biscuits, it does make me wish I had a dog because there's like so many things that you could buy for dogs that I just can't buy because I have no use for it. So I feel like I want a dog so I can buy them dog biscuits, Caden.
What kind of dog would you get?
Oh, well, I had a golden retriever growing up, so that's like the OG dog. It's a golden retriever. That's the best dog there is.
Yeah.
I feel like
them and labs, I think.
Yeah, them and labs. Corgis aren't bad either. You got them. Golden doodles, labradoodles, all the doodles with the poodle mixes, things like that. I think that's good. It's National Rationalization Day. So that's every day here on Talking Kentucky. We're very rational about how good the basketball team is, what our chances are at winning the next game. That's every day on Talking Kentucky.
Oh, for sure.
I think. There's actually a lot of good ones today. It's Tootsie Roll Day, National Tootsie Roll Day. That's one of my favorite candies, honestly.
I don't know the last time I had Tootsie Roll. Halloween a year ago, probably. I don't know.
That's a good point. I think I only do have them at Halloween, probably, but they're really good. I mean, Tootsie Rolls are like a superior candy. You ever had like the fruity ones? Like the fruity Tootsie Rolls?
I've only had the chocolate ones.
The vanilla ones are actually probably my favorite. The vanilla Tootsie Rolls. They're a rare breed. It's hard to find them, but if you find them, it's probably worth it.
Speaking of rare breed, Clyde says he has a Pomeranian Husky mix. How does that work?
Talking Pomeranian Husky mix, I guess. Yeah, I don't know how that.
You ever seen that
works. I don't think maybe I would recognize it if I did see it, but I don't think I've ever seen a Pomeranian Husky mix.
I'll have to look this up.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen that before.
Oh, they look like miniature huskies, literally.
Well, I guess Claude's a Yukon fan too, since he's over here has huskies as pets and everything. But he's North Carolina and Yukon fan, I guess. But Well, I'm glad we beat Tennessee. I think that Tennessee. That's enough holidays for today, probably. Although there are a lot of good ones today. But Tootsie Rolls is a good way to end it. Beating Tennessee, I think probably got us into the tournament. And then now that we beat Florida, I think we're solidly in the tournament. I think you're definitely in, unless you were to lose out and lose in the first round of the SEC tournament. And anything's possible. So I'm over here knocking on wood. But Caden, I feel pretty good about our chances of making the tournament now. Joe Lenardi even has us as an 8 seed now, which probably means we could probably play our way up to a 6 or even a 5, which I just never would have imagined was possible even a week ago. So, Caden, how are you feeling about the Cats' chances of moving on up in the seedings now?
Yeah, I didn't even know he had us as an 8 seed. I guess after the games last night, maybe he moved us up. I thought we were at 9, but yeah, that's really surprising. And kind of like you said, unless we lose out, we're probably for sure in. I don't see us losing out. I think at worst, we'll win one out of our next 3, and then maybe one tournament game. So
Yeah.
let's say worst case scenario, Coleman. If we go 1-2, and then we win one SEC tournament game, are we in?
If we go 1-2 and win one SEC tournament, yeah, I think we're still in at that point. I really think the only way we're not in is if we don't win another game. Which again, entirely possible with what we've seen lately. But I'm feeling pretty confident right now. You'd like to think we could at least beat Vandy, Caden. Knock on wood, right? But
I don't know. Honestly, that might be our hardest game because you just know how Vandy is. I mean, they have nothing to lose at this point, so they're going to come in there and just be throwing up 50-footers, and that's going to be their game plan: 33s.
Jerry Stackhouse is going to look like he just got slapped for the entire game. Yeah, that'll be how he acts. And but that Arkansas game really seemed like it was going to be a must win there for a while, and now it kind of doesn't even matter. Like, it'd be great if you could win that because you can move up in the seedings, but in terms of getting into the tournament, I think you can lose that one and be okay. But as Kentucky fans, Caden, we'd like to win every game, preferably. That'd be good. That's what we call Kentucky basketball, in my opinion.
Winning, yeah,
winning, yeah.
Kentucky basketball equals winning. I agree, and I think we'll win. I think we'll beat Auburn, and I think Vandy will be close, but we'll beat them. I think we'll lose to Arkansas, and then we'll win 1 or 2 SEC tournament games, if we're being honest.
Well, Claude says we can beat Arkansas, so
we can.
I think we can. Doesn't mean we will, but I think we can. I think it's certainly possible. Did you see Oscar say that the Plavsic dude was calling him his baby daddy or something like that during the game?
I did.
Which I think he got like 2 or 3 points on Oscar. So I don't really know how you're anybody's daddy if you're doing that. And especially the baby daddy thing. I don't get it. That probably got lost in translation somewhere between Plavsic and Oscar. But in any case, I don't think you're a daddy or a baby daddy if you're only dropping 2-3 points a game.
I can assure you, being there watching it firsthand, if anything, Oscar was his daddy. So
yeah, that's true. And there's that meme of Oscar with Plavsic on his shoulders, yeah. or was that the Scobie? Either way, I think Oscar is the father of them both.
There can be one with Cal with Rick Barnes on his back now too.
I was watching the Alabama South Carolina game last night, and outside of our loss to South Carolina, I really haven't watched any South Carolina basketball. I know that's probably shocking. But what I gathered from them...
Doormat, so...
Well, that's right, yeah.
SEC doormat, South Carolina.
What I gathered watching them last night was that they're really, really bad. I mean, they had that game won, and they threw it away. I mean, they played awful defense. I mean, they could not defend anything last night.
Speaking of a team with nothing to lose, that's them.
It is them. But I am glad that they have won more than just the one game against us, Caden, because that would have been really embarrassing. But I think they've won 3 SEC games, but that was really going to make that loss a little less bad if they had beaten Alabama last night, but just didn't happen.
Outside to like losing to St. Peter's, which sorry, Clyde, for mentioning that on this episode.
He's tired of
losing
hearing
to
about the Peacocks, Caden.
Yeah, I'm aware. He's tired of Shaden Sharp too. But
yeah,
after losing to that loss to South Carolina might be one of the worst losses in the calendar.
Oh, I think so. I think it's definitely
it's at home, and they're just really, really bad.
I think it's the worst SEC loss for sure. In the Cal era for sure.
South Carolina used to be good when they had like Devin Downey, those guys.
Yeah, he did.
But not anymore.
Yeah, Claude, there it is. Claude says St. Peter's, 2 eye roll emojis, and then for Shaden Sharp, he gives 3 eye roll emojis. So where's Cody in the comments with our Shaden Sharp stats? He didn't participate in the dunk competition.
We know that. We know the last few games he hasn't been playing too hot, but we do need an update.
You know, I never really watch any of the All-Star game for the NBA stuff, but I did watch the 3-point contest this year, and Tyler Hero and Julius Randle were both in it.
Julius Randle shooting threes?
Well, that's the problem. He wasn't really shooting threes. They both, I think they had scores like 12 and 14 or something. Wasn't great. I think the winning score was 36.
Steph Curry must have not been in there.
Steph Curry was not in there. No. So some
good players just not do those things these days.
I seems like it. I mean, Damian Lillard, I think, was the guy that won it. I'm pretty sure. So
pretty good.
Well, Claude says, are we taking calls? And yes, we are going to take calls. We're going to do that. So we got some other topics to get to. But of course, I mean, this is Talking Kentucky. We don't just get on here and not take calls. So we're definitely going to take calls tonight. So, 502-234-1504, you know the drill. Give us a shout. We'd love to talk to you about the Cats and all that kind of thing.
Curry was hurt. I didn't know that.
I didn't know Steph Curry's been hurt.
I mean, we have a following that also likes the NBA. Maybe we should.
Maybe we should watch the NBA. I'm terrible at watching the NBA. I mean, I kind of keep up with Kentucky guys, but not really. But we are getting a Clyde call here. Just as he said, he's calling in. So, what's up, Clyde? How are you?
Man, y'all better quit messing with me about St. Peter's, North Carolina. Y'all better quit that now. Come on, man. You know me.
Oh, yes.
I know I talk about North Carolina a lot. I guess the reason why, because of the Jordan logo. As big as a Michael Jordan fan I am. I mean, they are the main Jordan brand school. I guess that's why.
Hey, that's a good reason to be a North Carolina fan. I feel like, or not. Yeah, I know you're not a North Carolina fan, but Jordan is the GOAT, regardless of what. And we haven't really had this debate on the show, but there's no question, Caden. Jordan is the GOAT, not LeBron, right?
Yeah, and at least he didn't go to Duke. I mean, it could be worse. I do like Roy Williams too. I think Roy Williams was a good coach.
Yeah, I like him too.
Yeah,
I like Roy. He's one of the best coaches ever. Definitely. One at Kansas, one at North Carolina. If you can win championships at both schools, I think that considers you, especially with the players we have. Heck, to be honest, back in 2012, the tournament run, obviously earlier that year, we played North Carolina. And that game, well, if it wasn't for Davis's block, John Hinston probably makes that shot against us. And they got screwed. Honestly, North Carolina got screwed at the wrong time because Kendall Marshall got hurt before the tournament. And that's what probably affected them I'm surprised they made it as far as they did. They made it all the way to Elite Eight, lost to Kansas. But I'm honestly surprised.
Clyde knows the North Carolina history.
Caden Zeke, Clyde knows he's not helping his case here. I don't know who any of these people are, and Clyde's naming off all these North Carolina players. Because I've been watching college basketball for gosh who knows how long, and obviously,
You know, and I keep up with pretty much, even though I don't like North Carolina, I don't like Duke, I do be keeping up with their programs. But I'm going to be honest, I can't name a single freshman on Duke this year. I mean, that one guy that's number 30, I can't pronounce his last name. I don't really know who he is. But back to North Carolina from 2012.
I don't like Duke, so I don't watch them.
Okay, hold on, Mom. That, you know, back in 2012, you know, they said, like, Kentucky, we were kind of scared of them if they had Kendall Marshall in the tournament because they would, I feel like if they had him, they would have went to the Final Four. Not saying they would have won the championship, but they were really the only team that really, even when we played them in the regular season, they were really the only team that kind of gave us a run for our money. They gave us a really good game at Rupp. It was dangerous. I feel like, you know, I'm not saying they would have. I don't think they would have won the championship even with Kendall Marshall, but I believe they would have made a Final Four run because they were that good. And they, you know, they had veterans. They had all them guys. I think they even had Harrison Barnes, if I'm not mistaken. I believe.
That could be.
Even if you don't keep up with North Carolina, you know who Harrison Barnes is. Plays in the NBA.
I've heard that name. I've heard of Michael Jordan. That's.
Yeah, who has? Well, yeah, obviously. I mean, you know, if you have
Barnes seemed like a good kid.
On a rock.
He played saxophone. I don't know how I know that. I guess I'm a North Carolina fan too.
Oh yeah, that's right. He did play saxophone. I did know that. There
I don't know how I know that, but he did.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, getting back to the Cats here. You know, what are your thoughts on what's your confidence level now, Clyde? We've been down on the team this year. There's been some good days. There's been some bad days, but seems like we're headed back to some good days.
We are, and you know, we're doing it at the right time towards the end of the season. Now, you know, we've had some injuries. We're dealing with Frederick's injury. We're dealing with, you know, Severe's injury. But I'm hearing, and this is from Jack Pilgrim, and
he's got scoop, Caden. He's got it's kind of like it's like the scoop from Tim from Wildcat Sports Talk, but this is from Jack Pilgrim, so that's even a bigger source, I feel like. But anyway, Clyde, continue.
And they're saying CJ will come back this Saturday, which is big. I think we need him because I think Casey needs to take a break, man, for a few. You know, because I mean, he's gonna need it, especially, you know, during SEC tournament time, NCAA tournament time, because we're in the tournament. We're in the tournament, regardless. We're in the tournament.
Oh, unless we lose out.
I think, and especially if Texas A&M continues to win, it makes our win. But we still need Texas A&M to win because
we need that quad one win. That's right.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly, and I'm glad they've been winning. Especially I didn't even know they were playing Tennessee, but I'm sure as heck glad they beat them. Obviously, I mean Tennessee's lost 2 in a row now, and I'm gonna be honest. I think Tennessee's good for a Sweet 16 run, and that's out the door for them. They're not gonna make it far.
They choke. Yeah, they rocky flop every time they get to the Sweet 16, Elite 8. They have 0 Final Four still, and I have no reason to think that's going to change this year. So I absolutely agree with that.
Always.
Well, Clyde, what's the highest seed you think we can get? Like, what's the best case scenario for Kentucky?
A 7 seed.
7 seed.
Best case scenario. But my thing is an 8 seed, but I'm perfectly fine with that. I don't really see anybody as a threat. Maybe Alabama. Purdue, I'm not worried about Purdue. They have
We're not worried about Purdue.
Cool. But they don't have the athletes that Alabama has. Alabama would beat Purdue if they played them today.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, hold on, Mom.
Well, Claude, thanks for calling in as always. And, you know, hopefully we can keep winning, keep it up, and hopefully we can make a little run here.
Wait, let me give my final score for Saturday.
Final score. Is this Auburn? Are we playing Auburn on Saturday?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, in Rupp Arena.
All righty.
85-70. I'll take us by 15 points.
85-70. I'll take it. Well, man, I'd take that. Well, Clyde, man, thanks for always good to talk to you. Thanks for calling in.
See you, Clyde.
All right, I'll be in the comments.
All righty. You know, Caden, Marsha's not here, but I think if Marsha were here, she'd be telling us how Purdue could beat us. That's for sure. Don't
Yeah,
you?
she's a big Purdue fan. What shocks me is she never talks about Brady Welsh.
Yeah, you need to talk. If you're a Purdue fan and a Kentucky fan, you have to know who Brady Welsh is. How do you not know who Brady Welsh
We'll have
is?
to ask her about that next time.
Yeah,
Clyde's prediction, he said 85-70. I think it's a little high. Like, I don't have much confidence.
Kaden, have we scored 80 points in a game this whole year?
Probably against Carleton State
I don't
or
even,
whatever.
I don't even think we did against Fort A&M, and they're the worst team we've played.
Yeah, we're not a high-scoring team unless we go off from 3.
That's for sure. Hey, I think we got Josh Hart on the phone here. How's it going, man? Or maybe it's not Josh. Maybe it's somebody else. Hey, you're on with Talking Kentucky. Who's this? Okay, it's definitely Josh, but he's not here. I'm going to hang up and he can call back. It's definitely Josh's number. So I don't know if he just couldn't hear me or whatever then. Okay, we're getting a call back now, so maybe it'll work this time. Hey, you're on with Talking Kentucky. Who's this?
Hey, this is Josh. Is this a little bit better?
That's better now. Yeah, I couldn't hear you before there, but you're great now.
All right. Hey, how are you guys doing tonight?
Man, we're doing better now. It's starting to feel like we got real Kentucky basketball going here. That just makes life better, you know.
Yeah. I still have some reservations. And we was up 15 last night. They came back. They ended up getting up 1 1/2 on us. And then we went out to a 10 or 11 point lead towards the end of the game with 4 or 5 minutes to go in the game. And they came back on us a little bit. We ended up winning at the end. I just hope they get that. They just got to figure out how to get them big leads and keep them leads and have it kill in them.
Amen.
And I think something Calipari put out today that every player at Kentucky has an NIL deal with them. And maybe
the whole team.
We got all that out of the way. Maybe they can focus on playing basketball now or something.
I mean, I think that could have been a big thing that was going on with the team. I mean, NIL's so new. Everybody wants to be a part of it. So maybe it was playing more of a factor than we think. I don't know. What do you think, Caden?
It could have been. I know. You've heard those rumors all year, and it makes you wonder with some of the quote unquote injuries that have happened, and I don't know. It makes you think about maybe we don't know the full story on some things. So I think it definitely could have played a case.
Yeah.
Well, if that was the case, then they've got it done, or whatever got done. Then maybe they can focus and start playing together. We need CJ back. I mean, even Wheeler, we still need him back. But I don't think there's a story out there that Wheeler's refusing to play. I don't know if that's true or not. You know, when you see so much crud on UK forums, you don't know what to believe and what not to believe. But there's a rumor going around that Wheeler's pretty much saying that he's refusing to play. I don't know. Have you guys heard anything like that?
I've definitely heard that rumor going around, and I don't know if there's any truth to that or not. It's definitely just a rumor. But it could be an injury. It could be not injury related. Only time will tell, sort of thing. But the bottom line is, we're winning games regardless. You know, we just beat Tennessee, and we just beat a decent Florida team on the road, even without Castleton. That was still a gutsy win. Even though they didn't have Castleton. So all that matters is that we're winning. So honestly, that's at this point, I feel like that's all we can ask for.
But to your point, the Case and Wallace thing is he's playing. I mean, that guy's playing all game, every game.
Yeah, so he needs a
backup, and we literally don't have another true point guard that's playing right now.
We actually, I guess because it was on Wednesday night, instead of Tuesday night, we actually got to play early. So I actually got to watch a game finally. And it's been crazy with scheduling this year and the late games and ESPN hating on us. And I don't know. It's just been crazy.
Yeah, I agree, Josh. Been having all these 8 o'clock games. I don't get it.
Yeah, we've had more late games this year than we've ever had. I don't know what it's been, but there's we used to have 1 or two a year, and one of them was usually the Champions Classic. But this year, I feel like every single weeknight SEC game has been like a 9 o'clock game.
Yeah.
It's been crazy.
It's usually, or if we play like on the West Coast or something, it's usually when we
Yeah,
have
even
it,
if we play on the West Coast, yeah.
Yeah. Now, last week I was in Alabama, and then they sent me to Texas, and then I was no longer in Texas for like 2 or 3 hours when I got a phone call or text saying we're going to Florida. So drove all the way to Texas on Friday, rested for the night, and then turned around and drove 14 hours back to Florida the next day, and been in Florida ever since working. So that's been pretty much my week.
Well, I saw your pictures there in Alabama. I've been over there to like Orange Beach, I think it was you were at.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a beautiful area down there, man. Yeah, that's
it was gorgeous.
Yeah, I'm jealous. Yeah.
Hey, Josh, cool. I have a question for you.
Okay.
So I have a remote job, and you seem like a guy that's been a bunch of different places. If you were to have a remote job and you could live anywhere of these places you've been, where would it be?
Any place that I could be?
Any place you could, if you had a remote job and you could live anywhere you wanted, like any of these places you've gotten to go.
Well, man, I haven't been to Hawaii, but that's where I would choose.
That's a good.
That's a little expensive.
That's not a bad spot, you know.
David Holmes says handsome.
But I mean, all places.
What about the continental United States?
Texas is pretty cool. I like Texas a lot.
Well, Caden's already checked that one off the list. But
there are some good things about Texas.
Yeah, there's definitely.
He just likes the beer there.
That's a good reason to like a place, Caden. I feel like beer is plenty of reason to move someplace.
Yeah, they got good beer in Texas.
They do. They got good beer. They don't have good beaches in Texas.
No.
Now Galveston is not the best. Caden and I
talk like murky water and trash.
Yeah. Well, Josh.
I think we're still going in the right direction. I think we're getting better. I think Oscar's a little bit more focused, and I think we're just we just got to keep on doing what we're doing, and I think we'll make a deep run into the tournament, and I think we'll be. I think we're going to get a pretty good seed. I think we'll in between 6 and 8 is where I think we'll be.
And that's a great spot. And you tell me you get between a 6 and an 8 seed, where we're wondering if we're going to be either in the NIT or the first 4. Even a week ago, like what a turnaround. So, I'll take it. Hopefully we don't lose out. That would be the only way we can screw this up, sort of, I think. But yeah.
Hey, what's Louisville's record, by the way?
I think they've won 4 games now. Because they're
getting up there.
They beat Clemson. Yeah, they're getting up there. They might even. They're not going to get to double digits, but they might match our worst season in school history. So,
I didn't know because they said that. I know that we all said we earlier in the year that they would win 5 games. I just didn't know if they'd hit 5 yet.
I don't think they've hit 5.
They're going to lose out.
Yeah, they'll probably lose out. Yeah. So we'll see.
Do you think they'll fire him over that, or do you think
no? I don't think you can fire him after 1 year. Now especially, if he had won no games or like 1 game, I think that's one thing. And I know it sounds stupid, but if you win 4 or 5, I think you got to at least give him 1 more year. Caden's laughing at me, but I think if you win more than 1 game, and you're an alum of the university, because the thing is, who else are they going to get to come there? Other than, Kenny's probably their best option right now.
You can get Richard Pitino.
Yeah, but what if he has another? What if he has next year? Say when he wins 6 games, you think that? Get rid of him then?
Yeah, they'll get rid of him.
Yeah, he's got 1 more chance.
Yeah, he's got 1 more chance, and that's it. I think for Kenny. But well, man, thanks for calling in as always. It's always good to talk to you and see where you are. And hopefully we can pick up this Auburn win on Saturday.
Yeah, I think we're going to win. I think we'll win by double digits. I think we'll win. I don't think it's going to be. I think it's going to be 75-64. I think we'll win by.
Yeah, I could definitely.
That's more like it.
I could definitely see that. Yeah. Well, man, thanks for calling in as always. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
Yeah,
I
Richard.
did not think he was
puts
going
in
to say
that
Texas.
Yeah, you weren't expecting your question to backfire on you like that.
He's
there,
been to
Caden.
Florida and Alabama and all these places, and he's been out west, and he says Texas.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I would definitely wouldn't move to Texas for the beaches. Yeah, Galveston is not up there on my list. But speaking of beer, and beer in Texas, Kentucky is selling alcohol at sporting events for the first time. They're doing a pilot program at the baseball games, and who other to buy the first UK athletics beer, Caden, than Madisonville's own Drew Franklin.
Yeah, they're starting it out. They're starting it out right.
That's
By
right.
getting him the first beer. And I think it's a long time coming. Like, even if they don't sell beer at these games, people are going to sneak it in anyways. So
Oh yeah,
they might as well make a price. And if they have it, people are going to buy it. So they might as well just do it. I don't really see an issue with it.
I don't see an issue with it, but Mitch Barnhart's probably going to be looking with a sharp eye to see if anything at all goes wrong. If
wasn't
anything
it like
goes wrong,
$9 a beer?
Yeah, it was not. Well, it was $9 for like any domestic beer except Michelob Ultra was $10. I think somebody commented on one of our posts
what a steal.
and said that since Michelob is Ultra, you got to pay $1 extra.
Well, it is the superior light beer.
Yeah, I guess it is. Coors Light. So we were having this conversation on the phone the other day about what the best beer, the best bad beer is, right? Because we all, you can dig into craft beer and all that kind of stuff, and that's great. But I was saying how Bud Light is terrible, and Caden doesn't think Bud Light is terrible. I think that Coors Light is far superior to Bud Light. And Caden thinks they're about the same. I think it's kind of where we ended up.
I'm just saying there's a level of bad beer that I don't think you've ever stepped foot in.
And I would probably agree with that. And because why would you step in that realm? I don't think it makes sense to step in the realm of bad beer. I don't really want to waste my time with that.
Well, you're a college music major, so that surprises me that you haven't stepped in that realm.
Well, we just go straight for the good stuff, Caden. That's what you got to do. It's like school supplies when you're in grad school. Bud Light is terrible. Coors Light is the only beer. Now, David,
what do you think about Michelob, David?
David, that is the best comment that I've ever. If we had a sponsor text or comment of the day, I would give it to you because I think that's the best comment I've ever seen.
He used to drink Bud Light, so I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, the key there is used to. That means he stopped. That's the point. Lisa Marie Scott says Coleman Scott is your background Singletary. Yes, this is the Singletary Center for the Arts back here. I got to get ready for my concert tonight.
That's where we used to play our Broke trumpet gigs.
That's right. Yeah, there was more.
No, that was in the recital hall, wasn't it?
Gigs. Yeah, it was in the recital hall. Yeah.
Didn't you do a gig for Turtle Man's mom one time?
Did I do a gig for Turtle Man's mom? I didn't. Maybe you did.
Didn't that happen?
I feel like I would have remembered that if that happened.
It might have been Connor I'm thinking about.
Okay.
How many people can say that? They played for Turtle Man's mom.
Turtle Man. What was Turtle Man?
It was a show. He's from Kentucky.
Was he from Kentucky?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what did he do was he like Davy Crockett of Kentucky?
No, this dude literally jumped in lakes and caught snapping turtles.
Well, that sounds like it should be on TV for sure.
Oh, it was.
Well, we'll have to look it up. Maybe we can have him on the show since he's from Kentucky. We got that connection.
Good idea.
Maybe we'll just kind of move on up the chain there. We have we'll have Turtle Man on, and then we'll have like Perry Stevenson, and then we'll kind of jump up the list there and start having better and better guests on each time. So Kentucky baseball. Speaking of Kentucky baseball, they have not a fourth, not a fifth, not a sixth, but a seventh year senior, Caden, on their team this year. That means he's like our age. And I feel like I'd be sick of school at that point. I think I would just forego my baseball. No, it's not Perry Ellis. His name is Derek Williams, apparently. But it's not Perry Ellis. Perry Ellis, he had to have been 40 years old. I mean, that dude
Yeah.
could have retired from the NBA. I mean,
he was like, speaking of I'm a man, I'm 40. That guy.
he was 40. Yeah. He probably was. I mean, I'd have to see a birth certificate there.
Josh compares him to Steve Irwin, Turtle Man.
He's like Steve Irwin, kind of, but just from Kentucky. Well, that's what I meant when I said Davy Crockett. I meant Steve Irwin.
I think he's a lot less skilled than Steve Irwin.
He less skilled than Steve Irwin.
Yeah.
Well,
he just jumps on in there.
It's probably just as entertaining, I would think.
Good TV.
Yeah. Why are there no mascots that are the turtles? I feel like that would be a good mascot, like at least like the snapping turtle,
the snappers,
like the snappers. Yeah,
that'd
the snappers.
Yeah,
yeah.
You can't you can't be the turtles. I mean you're not going to win your games. I mean that's almost like Briar Humpers.
Well, slow and steady wins the race. The Briar Humpers are gonna the tortoise and the hare doesn't win. The turtle wins. So I think it only makes sense that then. I mean, I think that would be a wise mascot choice.
So what's your motto? We're not good, but we'll get there.
Well, that should be Kentucky basketball's motto this year. If anything, if we win the national championship, we should either be the basketball bennies or the snappers. I think that would be an appropriate name for this year. Did you see this Duke fans poster of the Tinder conversation with the Louisville player that he printed out?
Oh, I did hear about that. I felt like that was probably slightly illegal.
It probably was, and I don't know. We're going to kind of talk about it. This is sort of fair or foul here, but basically timeline of events is a Duke student makes a fake Tinder profile of a girl, matches with a dude on Louisville's basketball team, has a full-blown conversation with him, prints it out, puts it on a poster, and brings it to the game. Now, I hate Duke and I hate Louisville, but Caden, and I know it's probably illegal. I know it's probably crossing some lines, but I gotta hand it to him. That was it's kind of a job well done by the Duke student. He kind of pulled it off there. I think you got to hand it to him. It's kind of impressive, honestly, on a surface level. So,
oh, I mean, for sure. And if I could pick anyone for that to happen to, it'd probably be a Louisville player.
Mm-hmm.
I still think it's probably illegal, and
probably
I'm surprised there wasn't some kind of action taken against that. But
that's not for us to decide. We're just here talking about it. It's okay.
But I also think it's hilarious, and it was
hilarious. Yeah,
it was definitely a job well done.
Yeah, I do think I do think it was a job well done there. And Josh brings up a good point in the comments here, and we kind of haven't talked about this yet. I don't even think I put it on my list of topics here. I don't know how I didn't. I forgot to talk about that Florida fan getting ejected for like clotheslining a Kentucky player. It was Casey Wallace last night. Did you see it, and what's your take on that? Yeah, Caden, I didn't get to watch the game actually because I had I had a recording session actually. I'm just music's taking up all the time away from my full-time job podcasting lately. It seems like but it definitely should have gotten ejected. People say that it doesn't seem like he did the clothesline thing on purpose, but Caden, how do you accidentally clothesline somebody? I feel like that would be pretty impressive.
It looked like he was putting his arm around him, but the issue is Kaysen was running back on offense or defense or what we were at the time. So it was kind of like he was clotheslining him. No, like he didn't hurt him, but you can't do that. But they did kick him and his two buddies out. So
and people were wondering why didn't they give him a technical foul? And apparently you can't give them a technical foul for that. You can only give a technical foul to a fan for throwing something on the court, but you can eject them. So I guess technically, Caden, you can go up and you could punch somebody in the face on the court, not get a technical. But if you threw a water bottle on the court,
you mean a technical against Florida?
Yeah, technical against Florida.
And they can call a technical for a fan throwing something on the court?
Yeah, they can.
That sounds kind
They've
of
done it.
like
They've done it
it's
before.
not the players or the coaches' fault that the fans are jerkwads, you know.
Yeah. No, that's true.
The fans seem especially bad at Florida last night.
They did.
Like,
It reminded
screaming,
me.
cussing, clotheslining.
Screaming, cussing, clotheslining. Yeah, that's a bad trio right there, honestly. Yeah, like it reminded me of when Joakim Noah tried to grab the pom pom out of the cheerleader's hand. It brought back Joakim Noah Florida vibes. And yeah, Josh Hart says hashtag free Doug. Yeah, no wonder Doug flipped those guys off. Like I ought to, out here clotheslining Case and Wallace. Doug was in the right. I
You
think
can't blame him now.
I think they need to bring Doug back for the Auburn game this Saturday. Like,
and he needs to be the Y.
Yeah, he needs to be the Y. Just flip double birds, as the Y. I think that's what he needs to do. That's the only thing he can do. Yeah, I mean, he was completely in the right, flipping off the Florida fans. If you didn't think so before, you should definitely think so now, right? I think. Yeah, that
they were the worst fans I've seen since the Arkansas nude fans, probably. That game last night.
Yeah, that was hard to top though. The Arkansas fan mooning Oscar when he was shooting a free throw. Yeah, that I really didn't think that there conceivably could beat anything that could top that. But clothesline and Case and Wallace, yeah, that probably does top it there. So, well. Caden, the SEC tournament bracket is getting closer and closer to becoming a real life sort of picture here. And so KSR released today this bracket that if the SEC tournament started today, this is what it would be. So I thought, what better way to kind of close out the show than by kind of going through this bracket a little bit here. So, as it stands now, Kentucky would be a 3 seed. And as long as we don't lose 2 of our last 3 games, then we will be the 3 seed. So, it would be, we got it up here on the screen. It'd be Alabama at the 1, Texas A&M, somebody we've already beat at the 2, Tennessee at the 4, which we've already beat them. We'd be at the 3 there. We'd be awaiting the winner of Missouri versus either LSU or Georgia. Caden, do you like this lineup here?
For sure. I think that's honestly the best spot we could have hoped for in this entire bracket. I don't think we would lose to Missouri again. I think that was a fluke. But I do hear that Texas A&M's on fire right now. So that's a little worrisome. Yeah,
that is a little worrisome. Especially that we've already beaten them once. I was going to ask you if you were worried about Missouri or if you did think that was a fluke. So you think it's a
Missouri is Missouri. I think that's a fluke. But it seems like everyone we lost to, for the most part, is on that top side of the bracket. So hopefully we can at least make
good
the semifinal.
Yeah, I mean, could Texas A&M beat us? They absolutely could. Yeah, but am I worried about Texas A&M? No. I think we could be. And now, I mean, Alabama almost losing to South Carolina. They've shown that they can be beat. So
is Castleton going to be back for the tournament?
No, I don't think so. I think he's out for good. I mean, he has a broken hand, I think. So
broken hand. That's right. Yes.
Yeah, I don't foresee him being back. But if I mean, we could face probably either Alabama or Tennessee in the championship. We know we can beat Tennessee. We know Tennessee plays terribly against us.
I don't want to play Alabama.
I mean, I don't.
Give me anyone but Alabama.
If there's one team I would prefer not to play, it'd probably be Alabama. But I part of me kind of wants another shot at them, though. Can you imagine if we beat Alabama in the SEC championship? I mean, that would be an old school Calipari, Kentucky basketball kind of win. I think if that happened,
they definitely would. But watch someone like South Carolina just making it all the way to the championship.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. Do you see Rick Pitino says that he would leave Iona for a different school. I mean, he like literally said that in a press conference.
He literally said, "I would leave the team that's employing me right now."
Yeah, he said I would leave to go to a different to go to a school to a bigger school if they offered me a job. Yeah,
That's almost like Bruce Pearl saying, "We cannot beat Kentucky."
Yeah. Oh well, and Caden, we play Auburn on Saturday. So, did you really think that I wasn't going to play this Bruce Pearl clip on here? I mean, Bruce Pearl saying that they can't beat Kentucky. I mean, that's the best clip of all time, Caden. If you haven't seen that,
it's one of my favorite.
I mean, you have to hear it to believe it, right?
With the exception of Kentucky, I've said that there's not a team on our schedule we can't beat.
He looks so nervous.
He's like dead serious. I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, Rick Pitino said he would leave Iona, and Bruce Pearl says, with the exception of Kentucky, said there's not a team in our schedule we can't beat. So
what is Rick Pitino where does he want to go if he's saying that?
I think he would go to an SEC school, Ole Miss, Texas.
Texas.
I could see some Rick Pitino at Texas. I could see that happening. We said Cal to Texas. What about Pitino to Texas? I could see it. Josh Hart is back to Kentucky. Not as long as Mitch is here. I think we're going to have dollar beer night at Rupp Arena before we hire Rick Pitino again. I feel like So,
if we hire Rick Pitino, we got to hire Tina Powell. So that's not happening.
Yeah, no, that's definitely not happening.
Anyways, Susie Welsh says it was nice seeing you last week. It's nice seeing you too, Susie, and I enjoyed meeting you and Brady. Coleman, it was really cool. We got to go down on the court, and I got to meet Brady Welsh for the first time. It was really, really awesome, and hung out with him for a little bit. So
got to stand on.
I think the only time I was thinking about that, the only time I've ever been on the floor was whenever we played at commencement or something.
Yeah.
So it's different atmosphere doing it for a ball game.
Yeah, it's different when you're out there in the hardwood and everything. You should have gotten up a couple of baskets while you're down there.
Yeah, should have. Hey, I could hit my free throws. Guarantee that. You
could hit one shot and be like, "Yeah, I've never missed in Rupp Arena." So, I mean, that you could put that on your resume for sure. Yeah. Well, Caden, I got a concert to play, so I gotta get to that. But wanted to hop on here and bring you some good old Talking Kentucky content, especially since we're playing well right now. I mean, we couldn't miss an episode. So Cats are on a roll, and we play Auburn on Saturday. Hopefully, keep it going, move on up in the seating. Caden, it's episode number 40, so that means we need a good title. I feel like. What's our title this episode?
Well, Scott Holmes says that Turtle Man has less teeth than Steve Irwin. So should we be talking Turtle Man?
I mean, I think so. I think people would have a hard time not clicking on that to listen to. So episode number 40, Talking Turtle Man. I can't say that I saw that as a potential episode name before this started.
Baroque Trumpet just had to be brought up for that to happen.
Yeah, Baroque. there apparently there's a tie between Baroque Trumpet and Turtle Man here on Talking Kentucky. So you never know what you're going to hear on Talking Kentucky. But as always, we thank you guys for checking us out. Like us on everything, subscribe to us, and do all that good stuff, and the Patreon, and yet you all know the drill. Yeah, Caden, you got anything else?
I don't. Let's win out. Let's get a 6 seed, and let's make a run, and let's make Kentucky basketball great again.
Let's do it. All right. Well, for Coleman Scott, on that note, for Coleman Scott, for Caden Holmes, and for Turtle Man, this has been episode number 40 of Talking Kentucky, and we'll see you next time. Go Cats.